So please do excuse the state of our garden. We've only relatively recently moved into the house and it needs quite a lot of work doing to it, so it's in a bit of a state at the moment. So if you ignore that though, what I did want to show you was what is going to become our YouTube studio. So when we looked around this house, one of the first things that we saw as soon as we came out here was this lovely little outbuilding, and our first initial reaction was, that's a YouTube studio. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that we tend to sort of split the content up. I tend to do landscape photography and Hannah tends to do wildlife photography. And it's often quite difficult for us actually to do videos together because we're both very different sorts of photographers. And so we thought actually, from a format point of view, it might be quite nice if we have the odd video where it's both of us doing separate things. I'm doing my landscape photography and Hannah's doing her wildlife photography, and we thought we could introduce those videos together from a sort of setup that we could just have set up permanently, a little YouTube studio that we can have some furniture in there, maybe some studio lights, and it can just be ready to go, so that every time we want to make a video we can just come out. And when we saw this place we thought this is perfect, so I'll just show you inside. It's still very much in need of a lot of work, but it's an absolutely gorgeous little space. We've also got an amazing view there out over the glen, and it's absolutely stunning in here. It needs a lot of work at the moment. There's nothing in here really apart from chipboard floors and wooden walls, plywood walls. We might just keep these plywood walls actually, I quite like them. But what we're going to do is put some flooring down, get some electricity out here as well, and some lighting, which I'll come on to in a moment. But the idea is we can have just some furniture set up here, it can just be ready to go, and we can pop out and make a video. I might need to put some sound treatment. You probably heard as I came in from outside, there's a little bit of a difference in sound, so I might need to stick up some sort of sound treatment panels and things in here as well. But the other thing that we'll do eventually is we'll also have a sort of outside sitting area too, with an open fire and some seating, and we can use that too. For anyone in the UK who watches Spring Watch, it might be that sort of a thing. But yeah, this is the plan. We're going to get this set up as a YouTube studio. We don't have anything at all yet apart from our studio lighting, so that's what this video is going to be about. Neewer have sent us these studio lights which look absolutely fantastic, so I'm just going to take you through those lights now and show you what they can do. We've been using Neewer products now for quite a few years, and they've become our go-to company for photography equipment that gets the job done well at a reasonable price. These studio lights currently retail here in the UK for less than £200, and they're perfect for lighting our little studio. They're also ideal if you want to do product or portrait photography. So this is kind of a basic mock-up of how we're going to set these studio lights up when we finally get round to finishing our studio.
Yes, at the moment we are sat on garden chairs because, yes, we haven't yet bought everything we need, but the plan is to make it nice, basically.
Yeah, we'll get some nice chairs in here, probably a little coffee table and maybe some shelves up in the background. Something interesting going on there. The idea is to try and create a nice little cosy space and a nice little studio that we can come into whenever we want to make a video and just record a little piece to camera.
And less of a wooden box.
But it's a good way just to mock up these lights and show you how we're going to be using them. So we've got both lights set off at about a 45-degree angle, and they're both on equal power. Because there's two of us, I think having it on equal power works just a little bit better. If there is one of us, one thing that you can do is have one light set up at a higher power, which would be your main key light, providing your main illumination to one side of your face, and then you can have the other light set to a slightly lower power so it acts as a fill light. Yeah, you see it a lot when you have sort of interviews and documentaries and things like that. It does look really good.
Powerful sometimes.
Yeah, but I think for us we want to go for a little bit more of a kind of soft, diffuse look, don't we? So I think for both of us together, having equal power on both lights actually works a little bit better.
Less melodramatic.
The other thing which we've done is we've got this little Neewer LED light panel, which we actually bought several years ago, didn't we, for when we're doing sort of office type videos. And what we've done is we've mounted that on the end of a microphone stand, and it's currently positioned just up here. And that's just there to provide a little bit of separation between us and the background. And I think probably what I would do as a longer term solution is mount it on the back wall permanently so that it's just pointing down in the background. So the lights actually come with softboxes, which is really good. They provide this nice diffuse light, and I think it's important to provide a bit of diffusion on the lights. You don't want the light to be too harsh. But also they come with remote control, so we can control the brightness of them from basically where they're sat, which is really useful. We don't have to get up and change it. And the other thing is that they have different settings, so because they're RGB lights, they can go through the whole spectrum of colours from blues all the way to reds. You can have yellows and greens there as well. Probably features we won't be using so much on our channel.
Oh, speak for yourself. I might be using some interesting lighting settings.
Yeah, so there's some interesting lighting settings that you can have. You can set it to like a lightning effect, and there's
I won't be using
a police car effect as well. So we probably won't be using that on our channel, but you never know.
You never know.
So anyway, we just wanted to show you essentially what we're planning to do with this studio. Hopefully we'll be able to get some furniture and things in here soon. There is quite a lot of work to it. You can probably tell from the sound as well. There's a little bit of sound treatment that we need to do to it. So there are things that we're going to be doing. It might take a little bit of time, but we're really looking forward just to having a little bit of a space for making these videos for you guys with.
Yes, and we might be using the studio before it's at its optimal setup, just because it's probably going to be a really useful space, basically.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing we might do is have a bit of an area outside. Obviously this is the Northwest Highlands of Scotland, so it's not always great weather up here, but occasionally
it's beautiful.
It's stunning at the moment. But what we might do is have a little bit of an area with a fire pit and maybe some benches around it, and then we can do some outside work as well. So we're looking forward to getting that set up eventually. But for the time being, thank you so much for watching. If you are interested in these lights, then we'll leave a link for them in the description below so you can go and check them out, and we'll see you in the next video.